If you're starting out using interfaces for the first time, the amount of page types can be overwhelming. But once you understand some basics about them, the choice between them is usually quite easy. I know this because I built Airtable interfaces for clients every day, from small businesses all the way up to companies with thousands of employees. And by the end of the video, you are also going to be a pro at picking the right interface for the job. We're going to tackle this in 3 sections. First, we will talk about the 2 pages that you'll use for 90% of all jobs that you do. Next, we'll talk about the 5 page types that use what I call switchable formats. And lastly, we're going to talk about the page types that are used for more specific use cases. So hopping into the example Airtable base that we're going to use for this tutorial, this is a basic Airtable base that's used for tracking invoices. So let's say that I'm a company that sells some kind of gadgets or maybe works on gadgets, but whatever service I'm providing, I've got a list of invoices here and I'm tracking the date of the invoice and the total amount. And then I've also got a table for the invoice line items. So if like an invoice has multiple lines, what's going to be on it, and then a list of the customers who I'll be billing. And so let's say I want to build some interfaces based on this Airtable database. I'm going to go ahead and click the Interfaces tab and start building. I'm going to build an interface, not a form, although we will talk about forms a bit later. And so for this one, for the interface name, let's call it invoicing, because that's kind of just going to describe the various activities that I'll do for looking at invoices and related stuff. Click next. And now we have our whole list of different interface types. There are 10 different types here. So that can feel pretty overwhelming, but as you'll see, once you kind of understand how these group together, your choices are really not that complicated. So starting with what I promised, which is the 2 most common page types, the ones that I use for most pages on most jobs are the list view at the top and then the record review page down almost at the bottom. And so let's actually start with a list view. I'm going to go ahead and click the list view here and then click next. And we'll choose invoices, finish. And so this opens up a list view type, which is just like if you were in the data layer of the same base and you were to create a list view here, it looks quite similar to that. And you might notice some similarities with other page types to these. We'll get to that in a couple minutes. But so let's say I created this list view here. Usually, and this is nice to see kind of high level details about an invoice, but usually we'd probably want to have more information than this showing, at least eventually. And so if I click on this little open button here, I can go ahead and allow the user to open record details. So I'll click allow here. And then this is going to pop out some, basically a detailed page that I can customize. So I can customize where these different elements go, customer, invoice date, total amount. And because I was already messing with this earlier, it's already showing this as a grid view. When you first open up these details for any linked record field like this, it's going to show as a field. So we got the line items here as a field. But when you select one of those things, you'll notice that you can also switch it to a view type. So if I go to line items here and click view, then it's going to show those line items as a list. But then I can go ahead and make that a grid instead. Maybe I'll make those grid lines a little bit shorter. And maybe I also want to show the total amount because we've got number of hours and the hourly rate for each line item. If we multiply those together, we get a total amount. And then those add up to the grand total amount up here. And so if I click publish here, just to see what it actually looks like, we've got basically our list of invoices. And if I open one up, then I can see that invoice and the details with it. So this one really represents the most common page type that I use in the majority of cases because we often have a table that we've created in the data layer that we want to view in an interface. And in the majority of use cases, we want to see those same items listed in some way, but then have a way to drill down into those and see more information. Now, if I go back into the edit page here, and I'm going to add a record review because that's what I told you is the other most common page type. So let's go ahead and add this one. We're going to do that for invoices as well so we can compare them. Next. It's going to ask me which fields I want to include from that invoices page. And then let's call this record review. Finish. I'm going to go back, call this one the list view so we don't get confused here. So in our record review view, or record review page, you can see that we've got a list of the invoices on the left here, and this is that record review format. And then on the right, we have the details, and these details are which is showing the details on the same page as the different invoices, as opposed to on the list view when we see just the invoices and then you'd open them up to see the details like this. So going back into our new one, basically the difference is that we just see those those high-level invoices here even when we've picked one. And I can still do the same thing I did before and switch these line items to a view, make that a grid instead, and we don't have a ton of room here to see. But if I were to go ahead and publish this, then you can see I've got my line items here. I can make these rows shorter. I could add the grand total to make it look just like this one. But when you're choosing between these two most common page types, the main distinction between them is that this one preserves the context for what you've chosen and what other choices you could have to see the details at the cost of using up a pretty good amount of screen real estate. This is 15-20% of the whole page. And the list view, when we open it up, can be this whole page, and I can actually even expand it to take up more space if I go ahead and show as full width here. Publish, publish. Then it's going to even take up this whole page section. And if I had a lot of fields, I could really fill it out with lots of fields. And so this one is really nice for that, but you don't see the context of the other invoices, and in some cases that's nice to have. So really, if you just used those two page types, you would be able to build so many great interfaces. And really, like I said, I start almost every interface job by creating one of these two interfaces. And then as we build those out as kind of the main pages, we would then add some of the more specific pages to fill it out. So I'm going to go back into edit pages here. And if I want to add a new page, let's look at some of the other ones. So I'm moving now to what I call the switchable page types. And what I mean by that is that we can actually, once we choose really any of these, including list one that we just built, but also gallery, Kanban, calendar, and timeline, if I create a gallery, for example, I'm not locked into the gallery. I could actually switch it later to be a calendar. So let's start with gallery, and let's do a gallery of customers. Finish. And so this is just going to show me my customers and some information about each of them. And I can customize that. Let's remove the business logo since it's already the thumbnail here. And let's put the customer name at the top. So we've got our gallery here. And you'll see that we've got the source is coming from customers. If I click on page, so this is kind of the high level page, I can see that I've chosen gallery, but if I wanted, I could surface one of these other types, and I can actually have multiple types in the same one. So if I surface gallery, so now I've got gallery and list turned on. As the user, I can switch between those. So let me publish to show what that looks like. So you've got your customers page here that's right now showing a list. But if I want to see it as a gallery, I can see it as a gallery. So not only can we change our mind about these later, just if we want to only show one or the other, I can go ahead and edit and choose, but we can also keep multiple ones. And we could have up to 6 different options here. One little quirk about this is you'll see that the grid is an option here, but when you're actually creating a new page, you don't see grid as an option. And I think this is because Airtable has made some UI choice that they don't want to encourage us to be using grids as the main opening of a page type, but we don't have to listen to them. We can switch, so we can start as a list and then switch to a grid, or start as any of these and switch it to a grid later on. So I'm going to rename that page to be called Switchable to represent our switchable page types. Go ahead and publish. And now we've got our 3 pages that we've built here. Moving on, we have now talked about the most common page types, the list, and the record review. And then we've also talked about all of these switchable page types that are very similar to the options that you have for creating views within the data layer. There is one view that you can create in the data layer that we haven't talked about yet. That is for creating a form. So we can create a form page within an interface now. And the main reasons why you create a form is because forms can be publicly shared with anyone, including people without an Airtable account. And also forms can include required fields, meaning if you want to make sure that when someone is entering data, that they definitely fill out all of the specific fields you want them to fill out, a form is great for that. If you don't need both of those things, you can still use a form, but you can also create records using some of these other view types, as long as the person who needs to enter that data has an Airtable account and has access to your interface. But real quick, I'm going to go ahead and create a new customer form. So click next here, call this the form. And you can see here we've got our customer name that you would fill out, drop a business logo in, etc. And if I want to, I can require the customer name, require an email address. That one's pretty straightforward. Moving on, we have 3 left: the dashboard, the overview, and the blank. So the overview page is quite simple, but very useful. I'm going to go ahead and create this so you can see what it looks like. And basically the overview page is, think of it like a table of contents. It's going to be a nice page that you could probably keep at the top of your interface. And when someone first opens it up, if there are multiple pages, it's going to show a list of different pages that someone could go to. It's kindly added these in for me already since they already existed, but if I want to add one that's not in there already, such as the form, I can go ahead and add the form as an option. And I could remove one if I didn't want it to show here. And then I can also add some about info, some text, and some links to other web pages or something like that. That might be useful context for someone who's visiting this page for the first time. So this is kind of a more wiki-like feature that has in the past been missing from Airtable. This is a nice, more kind of free-form way for us to introduce someone to the interface. So that brings us to our last 2 page types. And these 2 page types are actually used for very similar purposes, but they have different strengths and weaknesses. And that's really largely due to the fact that the dashboard view type is a newer page type in Airtable. And the blank is, and you can see it's kind of separated by this dividing line here. It's because it is kind of an older page type within Airtable. And I would expect this to either be upgraded or eliminated at some point in the future. But the thing that both of these have in common is that they can be used to share high-level stats, to add charts in, that kind of thing, to build a dashboard that includes information from multiple different tables. So whereas with all these other ones, usually we start with a specific table, so we're looking at just invoices, or we're looking at just customers, and that's the only thing that we're starting with. Here, we could actually have this one page have information from multiple different tables. So we might have stats on customers and stats on invoices. And rather than building these ones from scratch, I've actually built a couple examples of each of those because that's going to be a quicker way for us to look at the differences between the two of them. So moving into my other template that looks, this is the same base, has a lot of the same exact pages, but if I go ahead and look at the dashboard view type here, I have information on invoices and I have information on customers here. And so, like I said, you're combining these two different tables, information from those two different tables in the same page, and we can use charts, we can use number sums, and we can add lists in. But if I go ahead and edit pages here and look down here at this line items group, these are the different options that we have available to us to add to a dashboard page. We can add a number, a chart, a list, gallery, a pivot table, or a timeline. But you'll notice there are some options of normal view types within Airtable that are missing, such as a Kanban. And Kanbans just aren't a feature that are available in a dashboard view at this time. And so if you want to build a Kanban, you will need to use the blank page type. And in the blank page type, I've got an example of a Kanban here. So this is the customers, whether customers are a new lead, whether we've engaged with that customer, or whether we've completed our job with that customer. And a Kanban is a good system for being able to look at those things and progress people along through our pipeline. So if we wanted to have something like that, you'd want to use a blank page. Just like the dashboard, you can have total numbers, you can have charts, etc. There are a lot of little nitpicky differences between the two of these, like how you would filter information. And I won't go into those here, but I will say that whenever possible, I do use the dashboard type because, like I said, it's a more modern page type within Airtable. I think it's going to receive more updates in the future. And in general, it's kind of a more aesthetic way of viewing the same information. But that's not to say that you can't use blank, because sometimes it can do something that nothing else can do. And so in that case, it's a nice option to have. So that's it. We've got this nice interface that we built right here that's got our overview that we can use to move to some of these other pages. We've got our list view, which, like I said, is really the most commonly used page type. It's really powerful because you can list those invoices or whatever high-level information from the table and then drill down into it and see lots of detailed information. You can even build in more detail so that if you wanted to open up a line item and have a detailed view for that line item, you could do that too. And then we've got our record review page, which is very similar to the list view, except that we've got our list in a way over on the left here, which is taking up space even when you have looked at the detail items on the right. We've got all of our switchable page types, and we've got our forms, and then we've got our dashboards. Congratulations, you made it to the end, which means that you are a pro at picking the right interface page for a job. You know the two page types that are used for the majority of page layouts. You know how to set up switchable page types. And you also know when to use the overview, form, dashboard, and blank page types. Now that you're on your way to building lots of pages, check out this video where I break down some more advanced topics in interface design.